What? So that's a little bit of what we get from Meghan Markle, that sort of rubbish, a woke whinger. And for this, she's going to be honoured with some special prize for women.
Imagine this, a glittering red carpet, the kind where stars are born and legacies are cemented. The 50th annual Gracie Awards Gala, a night to honor women in media, is in full swing at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel. And then there's Meghan Markle, the self-anointed Duchess of Empowerment, striding toward the entrance with the confidence of a woman who believes the world still revolves around her. But tonight, Hollywood has a different story to tell in a moment that will echo through tabloids. And tea rooms alike, Meghan Markle, once a royal, now a pariah, is stopped dead in her tracks by security. Her name, not on the list. Her title, irrelevant. Her reaction, pure, unfiltered fury.
Women of vision.
Get this though, this foundation presenting this award is Brooklyn-based, and it focuses specifically, if you read this organisation, it's called Ms. Foundation. If you read their reason for existing, it focuses...
Welcome to the night the Duchess discovered that even her carefully curated crown can't open every door. Let's set the scene properly. It's May 2025. And the Gracie Awards are celebrating their 50th year, a milestone event for women in media, journalism, and entertainment. This isn't just any awards show, it's a stage for authenticity, for trailblazers who've earned their place through grit and impact. Names like Viola Davis and Reese Witherspoon grace the guest list, women whose contributions are as undeniable as their star power. And then there's Meghan, who spent the last few years branding herself as a feminist icon, a royal rebel, a voice for the marginalized. She's here, or so she thinks, to reclaim her spotlight after a string of public flops, cancelled podcasts, lukewarm Netflix deals, and a growing chorus of critics who've called her out for weaponizing victimhood.
On women of colour who are living in poverty. So what on earth are they doing having these star-studded events, handing out massive awards to the Duchess?
This was supposed to be her moment, her grand return to the red carpet, a chance to remind the world that Meghan Markle still matters. But Hollywood, it seems, has other plans. Picture Meghan approaching the entrance alone, without Prince Harry. By her side, she's dressed to the nines, perhaps a sleek, emerald green gown, her signature stilettos clicking against the pavement, her chin tilted just so, as if daring the cameras to look away. The crowd parts, photographers ready their lenses, and for a fleeting second, it feels like 2018 again, when the world couldn't get enough of her. But then, a security guard steps forward, his clipboard in hand, his expression unyielding. Name? He asks as if he doesn't recognize the woman who once graced Buckingham Palace. Meghan's smile tightens, but she gives her name with the confidence of someone who's never been denied. The guard scans his list, then looks up. "I'm sorry, ma'am, you're not on the list." The words hang in the air like a guillotine. Not on the list. Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, not on the list? The cameras catch every second of her reaction. Her jaw clenches, her eyes narrow, and for a moment, she's visibly, unmistakably furious. Let's pause here to consider the weight of this moment. This isn't just a logistical hiccup.
No, it is. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, if the criteria for the award is that you get as much attention as you possibly can on yourself, make a fool out of yourself and stuff up your husband's life, then I think she should absolutely shoo it in. But I doubt that is the criteria for the award.
All right.
This is a public humiliation on a scale Meghan hasn't faced since she and Harry stepped back from royal duties in 2020. For several agonizing minutes, she stands there, stranded outside the velvet ropes, as event staff scramble to verify her credentials. Guests whisper behind their hands, photographers pivot to capture the awkwardness, and Meghan, once the darling of the media, becomes a spectacle for all the wrong reasons. One onlooker later described the scene to Page 6. She looked like she expected a royal fanfare, but all she got was a cold shoulder. It was brutal, and brutal it was. Because this wasn't Buckingham Palace, where protocol could be bent with a smile or a well-placed call. This was Hollywood, where relevance isn't inherited, it's earned. And Meghan, it seems, has been running on borrowed credit for far too long. So, how did it come to this? How does someone of Meghan Markle's profile end up off the guest list of a major awards gala? Sources close to the event paint a damning picture. Apparently, Meghan's team failed to confirm her attendance through official channels. Some insiders suggest it was arrogance. Did she assume her name alone would be enough to bypass the rules? Others point to mismanagement, a recurring theme in Meghan's post-royal career. Remember the Spotify debacle, where her Archetypes podcast was quietly axed after one season, or the Netflix projects that promised much but delivered little? Her team has a history of overpromising and under-delivering, and this time, it cost her dearly. The Gracie Awards, known for their professionalism, don't cater to unconfirmed celebrities, no matter how many titles they claim. One committee member told a media outlet, off the record, "We don't allow self-nominations. That's not how we operate. In other words, credentials matter." Ego doesn't, but the story gets worse. As Meghan stands there, her frustration boiling over, she allegedly pulls the oldest trick in the celebrity playbook. "You know who I am, right?" She reportedly snaps at the security guard, her voice dripping with entitlement. It's the kind of line that might have worked in 2019, when the world was still enamored with her fairy tale romance and her break from royal tradition. But in 2025, it lands like a lead balloon. The security team, trained for high-profile events, doesn't flinch. They've dealt with bigger egos than hers, and they have a job to do. Meanwhile, actual honorees like Kerry Washington and Savannah Guthrie glide past, their names checked off with a nod, their presence unquestioned. Meghan, still on the wrong side of the ropes, is left to stew in her own indignation. The cameras, once her allies, now turn away, chasing more relevant stars. It's a symbolic moment. The Duchess, once a media darling, reduced to a footnote in someone else's story. Let's take a step back to understand why this rejection stings so much. Meghan Markle's decline has been a slow burn, a series of missteps that have eroded her once unassailable image. When she and Harry left the royal family, they were hailed as trailblazers, modern, progressive, unafraid to challenge the monarchy's stuffy traditions. But what followed was a masterclass in overreach. There were the endless interviews, each one more self-aggrandizing than the last. The lawsuits against tabloids, which painted her as a victim while alienating the very institutions she once relied on. The failed media ventures, which promised to empower but often felt like vanity projects. And let's not forget her increasing isolation, cut off from the royal family, sidelined by Hollywood's elite, and mocked by the British press, who've taken to calling her the Duchess of Delusion. By 2025, genuine star power belongs to women like Zendaya and Margot Robbie, who create, perform, and evolve. Meghan, by contrast, has become a symbol of empty rhetoric, too many speeches to little substance. Back at the Gracie Awards, the humiliation deepens. After being denied entry on the red carpet, Meghan reportedly tries to salvage the evening. Behind the scenes, sources say she attempts to negotiate a last-minute seat inside the ballroom, perhaps hoping to slip in unnoticed and reclaim some dignity. But the event is already underway, the seating chart finalized weeks in advance. Organizers deliver a brutal verdict. There's no room, and they don't mean just physically. This isn't a logistical issue, it's a message. You're not welcome here. While VIPs like Sharon Osbourne and Viola Davis take their reserved seats, Meghan is left scrambling, reportedly asking if there's any table she can join, even briefly. The response, according to an insider, is ice cold. All seats are confirmed. We don't do improvisation. Translation: this isn't a Netflix fantasy Meghan can rewrite. This is a professional space, and she's not part of it. The final nail in the coffin comes with a leaked detail from the official program. Meghan's name, once rumored to be slotted for a brief acknowledgement, had been scrubbed days before the event. Her team had apparently floated her name in press circles without confirmation from the Gracie Awards board, a presumptuous move that backfired spectacularly. When organizers caught wind of the unauthorized PR spin, they shut it down as one. Producer tweeted that night, "This event is for trailblazers, not influencers. The message couldn't be clearer. Meghan Markle wasn't wanted. Not on the red carpet, not in the ballroom, not even in the brochure. She'd come for a crown." But she left with nothing. By the end of the night, Meghan's failed stunt has turned into a full-blown PR nightmare. She leaves the Gracie Awards alone, no car waiting curbside, no paparazzi to capture or exit, just the faint hum of a gala that's already forgotten her. The press, of course, has a field day. Headlines from TMZ to The Times scream variations of Meghan Markle rejected at Gracie Awards and Duchess denied. Hollywood slams the door. Even across the pond, royal insiders can't resist a smirk. A former aide reportedly tells The Telegraph, "This is what happens when you burn every bridge and still expect a welcome mat." Prince William and Princess Catherine, according to palace sources, aren't surprised by the debacle. One insider puts it bluntly, "This is Meghan's new reality. Hollywood doesn't owe her a thing." In the end, the Gracie Awards rejection isn't just a one-off embarrassment. It's a stark metaphor for Meghan Markle's unraveling narrative. She walked in expecting applause, a triumphant return to the spotlight. She walked out escorted by silence, a cautionary tale in entitlement and overreach. Once hailed as the voice of modern feminism, she's now a punchline, a reminder that relevance isn't a birthright it's earned. And right now, neither Hollywood nor the Commonwealth is buying what she's selling. The Duchess may be furious, but the world has moved on, and for Meghan Markle, that might be the hardest truth of all.